There was a time you pictured a better life for yourself. You didn't see yourself struggling the same way forever. You imagined freedom, joy, peace, success, and stability. You saw yourself walking in a different version of life. That vision wasn't just random. It was planted in your heart for a reason. But then life got heavy. The bills started stacking up. People doubted you, and circumstances knocked you down. You started pushing that dream further and further into the background. Every setback made you question if you were crazy for even thinking bigger. The truth is, that dream was never a mistake. It was a preview of what's possible when you refuse to quit. It's a reminder that deep inside you is something more than just surviving day to day. You can't let time, disappointment, or people's opinions bury what you once saw so clearly. You have got to bring it back to the surface. That life you promised yourself is still waiting. It didn't expire because you got older or because you failed before. Somewhere inside you, that younger version of you is still asking, are we really going to give up? That child in you believed in possibilities before the world convinced you to settle. That version of you still matters. The dream isn't gone. It's only dormant. And the only way it wakes up again is if you start moving toward it, even when nobody claps, even when nobody believes. You owe it to yourself not to forget that life you once promised. Everybody has reasons why they are not where they want to be. But let's be honest, most of those reasons are excuses we polished up to make ourselves feel better. I don't have money. I don't have time. Nobody supports me. You know what those are? Comfort statements. If you really want the life you promised yourself, you have to stop lying to yourself. Excuses don't move you closer to your dream. They just keep you comfortable in the same spot, convincing you that it's not your fault. But at the end of the day, excuses won't pay your bills. Excuses won't build your business. Excuses won't change your future. There will never be a perfect time. You will never have all the money, all the resources, all the support lined up exactly how you want it. If you keep waiting for that moment, you will waste your life in preparation without ever stepping into action. You have got to start where you are with what you have and trust that as you move, more will come. Excuses keep you stuck, but action creates momentum. Action makes things happen that excuses never will. Think about it. Every day you delay with an excuse, someone else is moving forward with less than what you already have. They are not smarter. They are not luckier. They are just not waiting. That's the difference. You don't need everyone's support. You don't need every resource right now. You just need to decide that the life you promised yourself matters more than the excuses you have been telling. Excuses sound good, but results feel better. Let's be real. Discipline hurts sometimes. Waking up early when you are tired hurts. Saving money instead of spending it on distractions hurts. Saying no to things you want right now so you can get what you really want later, that's painful. But that pain is temporary. You know what hurts even more? Regret. Regret will eat you alive in a way discipline never could. Regret shows up years later when you look back and realize you wasted time, you missed opportunities. You never gave yourself the chance to see what could have been. Discipline is hard, but it builds. Every time you choose discipline, you are stacking bricks toward that life you promised yourself. Regret doesn't build, it destroys. It leaves you wondering, what if, for the rest of your life? You have to ask yourself, do I want the short-term discomfort of discipline or the long-term suffering of regret? Because one way or another, you are going to experience pain. It's up to you to decide which kind. The person who chooses discipline might sweat, might struggle, might get tired, but they wake up proud. The person who chooses comfort over discipline wakes up disappointed, angry at themselves, and stuck in the same place. And regret doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone connected to you. Your kids, your family, your future generations. When you give in to regret, you rob them of the better life you could have built. The life you promised yourself will cost discipline, but regret will cost you everything. The people you surround yourself with are shaping your life more than you realize. If you spend your time around negative, unmotivated, lazy people. Don't be surprised when you find yourself stuck in the same place. Energy is contagious. Habits are contagious. Mindsets are contagious. You can't keep yourself inspired if everyone around you has already given up. The life you promise yourself can't grow in soil that's poisoned by doubt and excuses. Sometimes the reason you feel stuck isn't because you don't have potential. It's because you are in the wrong environment. If the people closest to you don't believe in dreams, don't believe in growth, don't push themselves, then it becomes almost impossible for you to rise above it. You may not even notice it at first, but over time, their doubts, their fears, and their habits will rub off on you. That's how powerful your circle is. Look at your friends and ask yourself, are they helping me get closer to the life I promised myself, or are they holding me back? It's a hard question, but you have to face it. If the people around you only talk about problems but never solutions, only talk about what they can't do instead of what they can, then you have got to protect yourself. You can't expect to live a big life while you are hanging around small-minded people. And here's the truth. Sometimes the people closest to you, even family, can't see your vision. That doesn't mean they are bad people. It just means they are not built to go where you are going. You can't drag everyone with you. Some people are comfortable in mediocrity, and if you keep trying to carry them, they will weigh you down until you quit too. When you get around the right circle, you will feel the difference. You will be challenged. You will be uncomfortable in a good way. Instead of being laughed at for your goals, you will be reminded not to quit on them. Instead of being told it's impossible, you will hear, why not you? The right circle makes you think bigger, grind harder, and stay focused. But finding the right circle doesn't mean they will magically appear. You have got to be intentional. You may need to step into new environments, join groups, seek out mentors, and put yourself in rooms where you are the smallest thinker so you can grow into something bigger. You can't wait for the right people to show up. You have got to move toward them. Your circle is either fueling your fire or pouring water on it. You have got to decide which one you are allowing around you, because the life you promised yourself depends on the company you keep. Too many people are sitting on their dreams because they are waiting for the perfect moment. They say, when I get more money, I'll start. When I have more time, I'll do it. When everything lines up, I'll chase it. Let me tell you, if you keep waiting for perfect conditions, you will wait your entire life. There is no such thing as the perfect time. The people who made it didn't wait until they were ready. They started scared, broke, and unsure, and they figured it out on the way. You have got to understand something. The moment you move, doors start opening. But those doors don't open until you take that first step. You can sit in your room with the best ideas in the world, but nothing changes until you act. You won't learn everything in advance. You won't have every resource lined up. The growth you are looking for comes during the journey, not before it begins. Think about it. Babies don't wait until they know how to walk perfectly before they take their first step. They stumble, they fall, they wobble, but eventually they get stronger. That's exactly how chasing your dream works. You will stumble, you will fall, but every step makes you stronger. Every mistake teaches you something, and every try gets you closer to that life you promised yourself. Fear is the biggest trick. Fear will convince you that you are not ready. It will whisper, what if you fail? What if people laugh? What if you embarrass yourself? But here's the truth. Failure is guaranteed if you never start. At least if you start, you have a chance to win, to learn, to grow. Starting before you are ready doesn't mean you won't feel fear. It means you refuse to let fear stop you. The people you admire, the ones who built businesses, careers, families, and legacies, didn't know everything before they began. They weren't qualified for every step they took. They just trusted that they would learn along the way. And that's what separates dreamers from doers. Doers start even in uncertainty. You can't build confidence by waiting. You build confidence by doing. Every time you take action, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Every time you step into the unknown, you expand your limits. Confidence doesn't show up before the action. It shows up because of the action. That's why starting before you are ready is the only way to become the person who can handle the life you promised yourself. You don't need to know the whole staircase. You just need to take the first step. Once you start, momentum builds, clarity comes, and opportunities appear that you would have never seen if you stayed still. The reason so many people never step into the life they promised themselves is that they have gotten too comfortable. Comfort feels safe, it feels predictable, it feels easy, but it's also a trap. You tell yourself you will move when you are ready, but deep down, you know you have settled into routines that keep you from growing. Comfort whispers, stay here, it's good enough, while your dream is screaming, come get me. Failure doesn't kill dreams. Staying comfortable does. Failure at least teaches you something, shows you where to improve, and pushes you to adjust. Comfort teaches you nothing. Comfort makes you believe you are okay when deep inside you know you are not. It keeps you stuck in the same place year after year while life passes you by. Some of you are not afraid of failure, you're afraid of discomfort. You don't want to feel awkward, you don't want to feel stretched, you don't want to feel challenged, but discomfort is where growth happens. Discomfort is where transformation begins. If you only chase what feels easy, you will never discover what you are truly capable of. Look back on your life. Every time you grew, every time you elevated, every time you leveled up, it happened because you stepped out of what was comfortable. You had to push yourself. You had to be nervous. You had to take a risk. That uncomfortable season shaped you more than any safe moment ever did. You can sit in your comfort zone and convince yourself that you are doing okay. But deep down, you will always feel that pull, that voice reminding you there's more. That voice doesn't go away because you ignore it. It stays and it eats at you. That's why people who settle in comfort often feel restless, unfulfilled, and stuck. They know they were made for more, but they chose to stay safe. The life you promised yourself doesn't live in comfort. It lives in risk. It lives in courage. It lives in the unknown. And the truth is, once you get out of your comfort zone, you realize it wasn't as scary as you thought. You discover strength you didn't know you had, and you build faith in yourself that comfort never gave you. If you are serious about your dream, you have got to be willing to trade comfort for calling. You have got to risk the uneasy feelings today to experience the fulfillment tomorrow. One of the quickest ways to kill your motivation is by comparing your life to somebody else's. You scroll through social media and see people traveling, buying houses, starting businesses, getting recognition, and immediately you start questioning yourself. You think, why am I not there yet? Why is their life moving faster than mine? But what? And you don't see are the struggles they don't post, the sacrifices they had to make, the nights they cried themselves to sleep. You are comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel, and that's unfair to yourself. Comparison robs you of gratitude. You stop appreciating how far you have come because you are too busy measuring yourself against where someone else is. You can't even celebrate your progress because you are blinded by envy. Gratitude and growth can't survive in a heart that's constantly comparing. When you focus on someone else's lane, you lose momentum in your own. Your journey is yours for a reason. You don't know what God is protecting you from. You don't know what lessons you still need to learn. And you don't know what blessings are being lined up for you. Their timeline is not your timeline. Just because it hasn't happened for you yet doesn't mean it won't. It just means your path requires a different process. Think about it like planting seeds. If you plant an oak tree and a flower at the same time, the flower blooms quickly, but the oak takes years before it breaks the surface. But when the oak finally rises, it stands taller, stronger, and lasts longer than the flower ever could. Some of you are oaks. You are not behind. You are being built to last. When you waste time comparing, you forget the life you promised yourself. You water someone else's garden while neglecting your own. And then you wonder why your dream feels further away. The truth is your dream needs your attention, your focus, your energy, not the distraction of someone else's progress. The people you are comparing yourself to might even be looking at someone else, wishing they had what they don't. It's an endless cycle that nobody wins. The only way to break free is to lock back in on your own vision, your own grind, and your own growth. The life you promised yourself will not come by competing with somebody else. It will come by committing fully to your own journey. The version of you right now cannot step into the life you promised yourself. That's the truth. Who you are today has habits, patterns, and comfort zones that are keeping you where you are. If you want to reach that next level, you are going to have to let go of parts of yourself that don't belong in your future. It's not just about chasing success. It's about transforming into the kind of person who can handle it. That means sacrificing your lazy habits. No more sleeping in just because you feel tired. No more wasting hours on distractions that give you nothing back. No more talking about dreams, but never moving on to them. The life you want requires a disciplined version of you, not the procrastinating version of you. It also means sacrificing your mindset. The negative thoughts, the doubts, the self-limiting beliefs, you can't carry them with you. You can't keep saying, I'm not smart enough, I'm not lucky enough, I'm not ready, and expect to step into greatness. You have got to rewire how you think. You have got to speak life into your vision, not death. And yes, it might mean sacrificing some relationships. The people who keep pulling you back to the old version of yourself, the ones who make you feel guilty for wanting more, the ones who laugh at your growth, you can't take them with you. If they wanted the life you promised yourself, they would chase their own. But if they don't, you have to be strong enough to walk without them. You will also have to sacrifice your comfort. The Tory version of you doesn't play it safe. You will have to take risks that scare you, walk into rooms where you feel unqualified, and say yes to opportunities that stretch you. The life you want won't come by staying comfortable. It comes by being courageous. Sacrifice isn't easy because it feels like loss, but in reality, it's an exchange. You are not just losing sleep, time, or old habits. You are trading them for discipline, growth, opportunity, and freedom. Every sacrifice you make is an investment in the future you said you wanted. The life you promised yourself won't be handed to the person you are today. It will be earned by the person you are willing to become. Failure is something too many people run from, when in reality, it's the very thing that shapes you into who you need to be. Every person who has ever built something great has a trail of failures behind them. They failed, they stumbled, they lost, but they kept going. Failure doesn't mean you are done. It means you are in the game. The only people who don't fail are the ones who never try. When you fail, you gain information you could never have learned sitting on the sidelines. You find out what works and what doesn't. You learn where you are weak and where you are strong. You discover what needs to be improved and what needs to be removed. Failure teaches you in ways that success never could, because success can make you comfortable, but failure forces you to adjust. The problem is that most people let failure define them instead of refining them. They take a loss and convince themselves it means they are not cut out for it. They take rejection and tell themselves it wasn't meant to be. But failure doesn't say stop. It says keep going, but go smarter. Failure is feedback, not finality. Think about it. A child learning to walk doesn't quit after falling the first time. They fall hundreds of times, but eventually they walk. Nobody looks at a baby who falls and says, maybe walking isn't for you. But as adults, one fall, one rejection, one failed attempt, and we start doubting our entire potential. That mindset has to change. Failure also builds resilience. Every time you fall and get back up, you grow tougher. You stop being afraid of setbacks because you have already survived some. You start realizing that the pain of failing is never as permanent as the pain of quitting. Quitting ends everything, but failing just redirects it. Your dream requires failure because failure strips away the illusions. It shows you if you are serious or just curious. It separates the people who talk about it from the people who actually want it. If you can survive failure and keep going, you prove to yourself that you are built for this. The life you promised yourself will not show up without failure knocking at your door. It's part of the price you pay on the way there. Motivation is great, but it's temporary. You can watch a video, listen to a speech, read a book, and feel fired up for a moment, but that feeling fades. Motivation can get you started, but it won't keep you moving when life gets heavy. Discipline, on the other hand, is what carries you through when you don't feel like it. Discipline is the bridge between your promise and your reality. Discipline is waking up at 5 a.m. when your body screams for more sleep. It's saving money when you want to spend it. It's saying no to distractions when everyone else is indulging. Motivation might spark an idea, but discipline builds a life. The truth is, discipline is what separates the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the achievers. When you rely only on motivation, you give your emotions the power to control you. or a future. If you feel good, you work. If you feel bad, you quit. That's why so many people stay stuck. They are waiting to feel ready. Discipline says, I don't care how I feel, I'm committed. Discipline makes you do it anyway. Think about the people you admire. Do you think they always felt motivated? No. They didn't get there by waiting for inspiration to strike. They got there by doing the work on the days they didn't feel like it. Their success is built on consistency, and consistency is born from discipline. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's repetitive, it's hard, and it's boring sometimes. But those boring reps, those daily decisions, those small sacrifices, they add up. One workout won't transform your body, but months of discipline will. One day of focus won't build a business, but years of discipline will. Discipline compounds until it changes everything. And here's the thing, discipline is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. At first it feels unbearable, but over time, it becomes who you are. You stop needing motivation because discipline turns into a habit and habit turns into a lifestyle. The life you promise yourself doesn't need bursts of motivation. It needs steady discipline. That's the difference between wishing for it and working for it. Too many people wait for permission, validation, or encouragement before they even try. They are hoping someone will notice them, cheer them on, or tell them they are good enough. But the truth is, nobody owes you support. Nobody has to believe in your dream. The world isn't built to make your journey easy. It's built to challenge you. The only way to get what you want is to show up and make it happen. Stop looking for approval from people who wouldn't even risk their own dreams. The ones who believe in you will eventually see your results. The ones who don't, their opinion doesn't matter. When you see his validation, you give control of your life to someone else. When you chase results, you take control of your destiny. Results speak louder than words. You can talk about your dreams all day, but results prove your seriousness. If you want people to believe in you, don't ask them, show them. Grind in silence, do the work, and let the results make the noise. People respect action far more than promises. Many people quit because they feel alone in the process. They want support, but when it doesn't come, they lose faith. That's backward thinking. Support is nice, but it's not required. The people who achieve the life they promised themselves don't wait for fans. They build the life first, and the support follows naturally. You have to trust yourself more than you trust anyone else. When you rely on others to push you, you give them power over your progress. When you rely on yourself, you become unstoppable. Self-reliance is a skill, and it grows when you produce results no matter what. Every small win builds confidence, and confidence eliminates the need for constant approval. When you see what you are capable of, you don't need validation. You have proof. That proof is your momentum, your leverage, and your fuel to keep going even when nobody else believes. The life you promised yourself requires proving it to yourself first and the world second. The results you create are more powerful than any cheerleader, mentor, or supporter ever could be. Before you can conquer anything in the world, you have to conquer the battlefield inside your own head. Your mind is where doubts, fears, and insecurities live. It's where negative thoughts whisper lies like, you are not good enough, you will never make it, or it's too late. If you don't fight these battles, they will sabotage every step you take toward the life you promised yourself. The enemy doesn't always come from outside, it often comes from within. Every fear, every hesitation, every excuse is a soldier in your mind's army working a guard. Inst your goals. And if you surrender to them, you will never leave the starting line. You can have the best plan, the best resources, and the biggest dreams, but if your mind is out of control, it will always find a way to stop you. You have got to train your mind like you train your body. Fill it with discipline, positive affirmations, vision, and strategy. Replace doubt with determination, fear with focus, and worry with work. What you feed your mind will grow. If you feed it negativity, it will shrink your potential. If you feed it purpose, it will expand your capabilities. Your thoughts control your actions. Every decision you make starts in your mind. If you allow fear to dominate your thinking, you will make choices that keep you small. If you cultivate confidence and clarity, you will make decisions that push you forward. Your mind is the command center, and what you believe will determine what you achieve. Battles in the mind aren't easy. Some days you will wake up exhausted by your own thoughts. You will feel like giving up because the inner critic is loud. But here's the truth. The strongest people you know fight that battle every day. They don't wait for the mind to be quiet. They act anyway. They push anyway. They go forward anyway. Meditation, reflection, journaling, or prayer, whatever it takes to quiet the noise and focus your mind, be relentless in using it. Protect your mental space fiercely because it is the foundation of every action and every result. If your mind is sharp, focused, and disciplined, you can overcome almost anything. The life you promised yourself lives inside your mind first, and the battlefield there determines whether it manifests outside or stays a dream forever. Patience is often misunderstood as doing nothing and waiting for life to happen. Some people confuse patience with passivity, and that's where they get stuck. Patience is about trusting the process and understanding that some things take time, but it doesn't mean you sit on your hands while your dreams pass you by. The life you promised yourself requires patience, yes, but it also requires relentless action. Too many people give up because they don't see immediate results. They think, I've worked hard, why isn't it happening yet? But growth, success, and transformation take time. You have to plant seeds and water them consistently, knowing they won't sprout overnight. Impatience makes people quit just before their breakthrough. Patience is your secret weapon if you wield it correctly. At the same time, patience without action is useless. You can't just wait on your blessings while doing nothing. You have got to work daily, push forward, learn, adapt, and stay consistent. Patience is not a pause button. It's a discipline that keeps you going through the waiting period. It's understanding that results are coming, but only if you keep moving. Be careful not to let temporary setbacks shake your patience. Sometimes the delay is necessary for your growth. Sometimes what seems like a roadblock is actually a redirection, teaching you lessons you couldn't learn if everything came easy. Patience allows you to endure, to stay focused, and to keep moving even when the path isn't clear. The strongest people you see today didn't get there because life moved fast for them. They got there because they stayed consistent while others quit. They combined patience with action. They understood that success is a marathon, not a sprint, and they were willing to endure the long process without losing momentum. Use patience to fuel your persistence. Let it remind you that progress is happening, even when you can't see it yet. Combine patience with relentless effort, and you create a powerful force that propels you forward while others fall behind. The life you promised yourself requires waiting with intention, acting with urgency, and believing that your consistent effort will eventually meet your breakthrough. Too many people carry their past like a backpack full of rocks, letting mistakes, failures, and bad choices weigh them down. They think, I messed up before, so I'll never get it right. But the truth is, your past is just a story. It doesn't dictate what's possible tomorrow. The life you promised yourself isn't trapped in yesterday. It's waiting in the decisions you make today. Your past can teach you lessons, but it should never limit you. Every failure, every regret, every wrong turn has valuable information hidden inside. It tells you what not to do next time, what patterns to break, and what mindset to adopt. The past is only a problem if you let it stop you from moving forward. People often let shame or guilt from the past hold them hostage. They replay mistakes over and over, thinking it's punishment or proof they are not capable. But shame only strengthens the chains. Growth begins when you forgive yourself, accept what happened, and commit to doing better. Your past can't hold you back unless you permit it. Look at anyone successful. They have a past too. Some of them were broke, rejected, or struggling. Some made terrible mistakes, but they didn't let history dictate their destiny. They used it as fuel, learning from it, and pushing harder toward the life they promised themselves. Your past does not define you because the future is still unwritten. Every choice, every step, every action you take today is a blank page waiting to be filled. You have the power to write a new story, one that reflects your dreams, your discipline, and your courage. If you stay stuck looking backward, you will never move forward. You have to detach from old narratives and old identities that no longer serve you. Let go of the story of failure, rejection, or limitation and start telling a new story, one that aligns with your potential and your promise to yourself. The life you promised yourself is not waiting in your past. It's built in the courage to rise above it and claim the future you are capable of creating. Your vision is your most valuable asset. It's the picture of the life you promised yourself. And if you don't guard it, it can be destroyed before it even has a chance to grow. Too many people let negativity, doubt, or criticism sneak in and chip away at their dreams. The moment you let someone else's disbelief into your mind, your vision starts to weaken. People will try to discourage you, friends, family, co-workers, even strangers. They will tell you your dream is impossible, too big, or unrealistic. Some of it might be said out of love, some out of jealousy, some out of ignorance. But no matter the source, it's your responsibility to filter it and decide what belongs in your mind and what doesn't. Protecting your vision also means protecting your time and energy. Stop spending hours on things that drain you instead of building you. Stop engaging in conversations that pull you off course. Stop allowing distractions to cloud your focus. Your vision deserves your full attention, not a diluted version of your effort. Sometimes protecting your vision means standing alone. People will question why you are working so hard, why you are sacrificing, and why you are different. That's when you have to stay firm. The life you promised yourself is bigger than comfort, bigger than approval, bigger than temporary judgment. Stand for it, even if nobody else does. You have to treat your vision like it's fragile, even when it's bold. LD dreams attract strong opposition, but fragility comes from the doubt and fear you carry inside. The more fiercely you guard your belief, your confidence, and your commitment, the stronger your vision becomes. Every attack it survives makes it more resilient. Discipline, focus, and consistency are forms of protection too. Every small step you take toward your goal, every habit you maintain, every boundary you set is reinforcing your vision. Protection isn't just defense, it's active nurturing. You have to keep feeding your vision with action, faith, and strategy. The life you promised yourself cannot thrive in a space filled with noise, distraction, or negativity. You have to protect it with your energy, your choices, and your persistence, because no one else will do it for you. Far too many people are waiting to be perfect before they start. They think they need the perfect plan, the perfect timing, or the perfect resources. But perfection is a trap. It doesn't exist. Success isn't built on perfection. It's built on showing up over and over again, even when things aren't ideal. Consistency compounds, but perfection paralyzes. Consistency means doing the work day after day, whether you feel like it or not. It's showing up when you are tired, when you are scared, when nobody is watching. It's creating habits that push you closer to your goals and sticking to them even when progress feels slow. Every small, consistent action adds up to results that perfection alone could never deliver. Perfection leads to procrastination. People delay, overthink, and doubt themselves because they think if it's not flawless, it's not worth it. But life rewards action, not hesitation. Your dream doesn't care about your fears or your mistakes. It only responds to effort. The more consistent you are, the more momentum you create. And momentum is what transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. You will make mistakes along the way. You will fail. You will stumble, and that's okay. Consistency allows you to keep moving despite mistakes, while perfection often stops you cold at the first sign of error. The people who achieve the life they promised themselves understand that imperfection is part of the process. It's the classroom where they learn and grow. Consistency also builds credibility, whether it's in business, relationships, or personal growth. People respect those who keep showing up. You may not be perfect, but if you are persistent, people will notice. The world rewards those who keep pushing forward, even with flaws, far more than those who wait for ideal conditions that never come. The key is to focus on progress, not perfection. Aim to be better today than you were yesterday. Aim to do more today than you did the day before. Each consistent step moves you closer to the life you promised yourself, even if it's messy, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's imperfect. Success isn't a single flawless moment. It's the accumulation of consistent effort over time. It's not about never failing. It's about never quitting, no matter how many imperfect attempts it takes. Every day you put off your dreams, every day you hesitate, every day you tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow, you are paying a price. That price isn't always obvious in the moment, but it accumulates. Time doesn't wait. Opportunities don't wait, and the life you promised yourself won't wait for your convenience. Every delay is a cost that adds up in ways you may not see until years later. The cost comes in lost momentum. The longer you wait, the harder it gets to start. The longer you delay, the more excuses your mind will invent to justify inaction. What could have been a small, manageable step today turns into a mountain tomorrow. The only way to avoid paying more is to start now, no matter how small the step, no matter how uncertain the path. Delays also cost you confidence. Every day you postpone your action, your self-belief erodes a little more. You start thinking, maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I can't do it. Or maybe it's too late for me. That self-doubt is a tax on your future, and the longer you sit idle, the higher the interest becomes. Delaying action also gives room for fear to grow. Fear feeds on hesitation, and when you wait, fear gets stronger. It convinces you to stay small, stay comfortable, and stay stuck. The longer you delay, the louder fear becomes, until eventually it drowns out the voice of your dreams completely. Every day you delay is also a lost opportunity. Opportunities rarely knock twice. Someone else moves, someone else seizes the chance, and you miss your window. Life rewards action, not hesitation. The more time you waste, the further you push yourself from the life you promised yourself. And don't forget the emotional cost. Regret is the heaviest price of all. Every delay plants seeds of regret that grow over time. You will look back and wonder, why didn't I start sooner? Why did I let fear control me? That feeling of what could have been is far more painful than the temporary discomfort of starting today. The life you promised yourself demands urgency. Every day you wait, you pay the price, not just in time, but in potential, confidence, opportunity, and future freedom. Somewhere deep inside, before the doubts, the distractions, and the noise of the world took over, you made a promise to yourself. You promised that you wouldn't settle, that you would chase a bigger life, that you would grow into the person you knew you were capable of becoming. That promise is still alive inside you, even if it's buried under fear, procrastination, or the opinions of others. That promise is your compass. It reminds you why you started, why you endure, and why you push forward even when it's hard. Every time you feel like quitting, every time life knocks you down, you have to remember the commitment you made to yourself. Nobody else can make that promise for you, and nobody else can keep it for you. It belongs to you and you alone. People will try to sway you from your promise. They will question your vision, doubt your abilities, or suggest you aim lower because it seems safer. But your promise isn't negotiable. It's not something to discuss or debate. It's a covenant between you and your potential. You have to protect it fiercely because no one else will. Life will test that promise constantly. There will be moments of frustration, setbacks, and temptation to give up. You will be tempted to abandon your dream for temporary comfort or approval from others. But remember, that promise is the anchor that keeps you grounded when storms come. It's the reason you keep moving when everything in your environment says to stop. Your promise is also a source of power. Every time you act on it, every time you push through, every time you stay disciplined despite fear, you honor that promise. It's proof that you are capable of more than you thought. The more you nurture it, the stronger it becomes, and the more unstoppable you grow. Sometimes keeping that promise requires sacrifice. It requires doing the hard things, saying no to distractions, walking away from negativity, and staying committed even when nobody else believes in you. But every sacrifice strengthens the bond between who you are today and who you promised yourself you would become. Never let the noise, the fear, or the excuses drown out the voice of that promise. Keep it alive in your mind, in your heart, and in your actions, because the life you promised yourself depends on your loyalty to it